So, day one, arrival in Istanbul. The moment I stepped out of Istanbul airport, the warm, spiced air hit me like a promise of adventure. I was greeted and whisked to my hotel, the bustling streets of Istanbul flashing by, minarets against a pink sky. Checking in felt like stepping into a new chapter. Summary of the day: the thrill of arriving in a city where East meets West pulsed in every breath I took. Day 2. Istanbul. Byzantine Ottoman marvels. We plunged into history. First the Hippodrome, imagining roaring crowds at chariot races. The Blue Mosque left me breathless with its sea of blue tiles shimmering in soft light. Hagia Sophia, with layers of Christian mosaics and Islamic calligraphy, felt like a living dialogue of empires. The Grand Bazaar was a riot of color and sound. I haggled for a silk scarf, heart pounding. At the Topkapi Palace, the Sultan's treasures glinted in dimly lit halls. I felt like I'd slipped into a fairy tale. Summary of the day: Istanbul unveiled herself like a layered love story, ancient, complex, and mesmerizing. Day 3, Istanbul, Bosphorus cruise, and Spice Bazaar. Sailing the Bosphorus, I watched Europe and Asia drift by on either side. Palaces, wooden mansions, and fishing boats. The breeze carried hints of salt and spice. Later, the Spice Bazaar overwhelmed me with scents: cinnamon, saffron, and roasting nuts. I felt both lost and completely at home. Summary of the day: the Bosphorus shimmered like liquid silver, uniting continents and stirring my soul. Day 4, flight to Cappadocia. A short flight delivered us into Cappadocia's lunar landscapes. The drive to the hotel was like rolling through a Salvador Dali painting. Fairy chimneys rising in surreal shapes. I couldn't wait to see it all up close. Summary of the day: anticipation built as the alien beauty of Cappadocia stretched before me. Day 5, Cappadocia. Göreme Open Air Museum and Fairy Chimneys. A pre-dawn hot air balloon ride, optional but unmissable, lifted me over honey-colored valleys. Later, we explored Göreme Open Air Museum, cave churches with delicate frescoes. Wandering the fairy chimneys felt like walking through nature's cathedral. Summary of the day: floating above Cappadocia at sunrise was the purest magic I've ever felt. Day 6, Cappadocia, underground city and Ilara Valley. Descending into the underground city, the tunnels were cool and claustrophobic. I marveled at the ancient ingenuity. In Ilara Valley, a riverside hike beneath towering cliffs was serene, birdsong echoing above. Summary of the day: I felt the whispers of ancient lives below ground and the peace of timeless nature above. Day 7, drive to Pamukkale via Konya. The road took us through Konya, where the whirling dervishes once danced. Though brief, the stop connected me to mystical Sufi traditions. We arrived in Pamukkale, and the sight of white travertine terraces gleaming in sunset light stole my breath. Summary of the day: the journey was a moving tapestry of landscapes and spirituality. Day 8, Pamukkale and Acropolis. Walking barefoot on Pamukkale's terraces, warm water caressed my feet as I marveled at the cotton-like slopes. The ruins of Acropolis stood silent above, columns and amphitheater whispering of Roman grandeur. Summary of the day: standing on ancient terraces, I felt part of nature's art and human history. Day 9, drive to Kusadasi, Ephesus tour. Ephesus overwhelmed me. The Library of Celsus, grand arches, marble streets. The great theater could still almost echo gladiators and ancient applause. Visiting the house of Virgin Mary brought a quiet reverence. Summary of the day. Ephesus made the past come alive with staggering clarity. Day 10, Kusadasi, free day. I strolled Kusadasi's waterfront, sipping Turkish tea in a cafe by the harbor. The Aegean sparkled, and I felt so lucky to have a day to simply breathe it all in. Summary of the day. Slowing down by the sea felt like a gentle gift to myself. Day 11, flight to Athens. Flying into Athens, seeing the Acropolis rising above the city skyline was surreal. The Greek sun felt sharper, the energy electric as we settled into our hotel. Summary of the day. Arriving in Athens was like landing at the heart of Western civilization. Day 12, Athens City Tour. We climbed the Acropolis. Standing at the Parthenon, I felt history vibrate through marble columns. The Acropolis Museum deepened the experience with its sleek galleries. Driving by the Temple of Zeus and Panathenaic Stadium, I was awed by Athens' layers of glory. Summary of the day. Touching the Parthenon stones was touching the soul of Greece. Sefri, day 13. The fast ferry took us across sapphire waters to Mykonos, where whitewashed houses hugged narrow lanes and windmills turned lazily in the breeze. My evening was spent wandering Little Venice, watching the sunset paint the sea. Summary of the day. Mykonos at twilight glowed with pure romance. Day 14, Mykonos free day. Today was mine. I basked on Paradise Beach, waves lapping at my toes, and lost myself in bright bougainvillea alleys. Mykonos's easy charm wrapped around me like a silk scarf. Summary of the day. Freedom tasted salty and sweet under the Greek sun. Day 15, ferry to Santorini. Sailing into Santorini's caldera was breathtaking. Cliffs draped in white villages rising above deep blue seas. The island's drama unfolded with every turn. Summary of the day. Santorini felt like stepping into a dream of perfect beauty. Day 16, Santorini, free day and departure. On my final day, I wandered Oia, lost in its maze of blue domes and pastel walls, savoring gelato with the Aegean below. Watching my last Santorini sunset, tears pricked my eyes, gratitude and wonder mingling. Summary of the day. The sunset crowned this journey, a perfect farewell to an epic adventure.